What up, party people? Welcome back to another episode of Controversial Album Covers. This is episode number six. So here it is, KMD's Black Bastards, released on May 3rd, 1994. It is their second and last record released. KMD stands for Causing Much Damage, or a positive cause in a much damaged society. KMD was originally three members, Daniel Zenlove X Dumal and his brother DJ Subrock, and the third member was Jade One. However, Jade One left the band long before they signed with Elektra and was replaced with Onyx the Birthstone Kid. As I said, this was released on May 3rd, 1994, but I'm just kidding, it actually wasn't released on May 3rd, 1994. It was supposed to be released then, but it actually didn't get released until the year 2000, and here is why. All hell broke loose in 1993 for KMD. First of all, somewhere during the recording of this album, Onyx left the group and was like, peace out. And then on April 23rd, 1993, Subrock was killed while attempting to cross the 878 Nassau Expressway. Now, there is some question as to whether it was intentional, whether it was murder, whether it was an accident, because the driver was never found and nobody was ever charged in the incident. Now, obviously, this crushed Zenlove, but he was able to go on and complete the album by himself while couch surfing with friends and actually Elektra reps in Long Island. And advance copies were finally sent out in early 1994. However, if you believe the internet, this is the story the internet tells you. Elektra wasn't keen on the artwork and the title. This, by the way, is Sambo. It's a black Sambo. He's an old cartoon character, fairly racist. And according to the internet, Elektra wasn't keen on it, so they supposedly thought the title and artwork was way too controversial for them, and they said, we don't want it, so they gave Zenlove the masters and $20,000 to walk away from the label. That's what the internet has to say. Now, if you dig a little bit deeper, there is a fantastic interview by Stony Island Audio on YouTube. I'll put it down here, Stony Island Audio. And they interviewed Dante Ross, and Dante Ross was the A&R rep for Elektra at the time. And if you don't know who Dante Ross is, if you listen to rap in the 90s, or if you love the 90s rap, you know what he has produced. He's produced everything. I mean, he is an angel in that area. I mean, he does them all. According to him, and again, he worked with KMD on this record and their first out record, he had sent the artwork through, Elektra had approved it, had no issues, and advance copies went out, and an article from Billboard came out by Havelock Nelson in which he called Elektra irresponsible for the artwork, and their first single, which was called What an N Knows. You know what the N means. And that is what killed the record. There's another person involved in that as well, but basically those two articles killed the record. And he says that Havelock actually apologized to him many years later for basically destroying KMD's career. The biggest problem is that the year prior, Ice-T had released Body Count with Cop Killer, which was put on the shelves and then pulled. It's in this series coming up. And they were afraid that this would be Cop Killer number 2, and they didn't want to have any issues with it. The other problem is that Bob Krasnow was actually Ross's boss at the time, and Krasnow was on the ropes at Elektra and with the conglomerate of all the labels that he was working with, because he had signed Huey Lewis and he had signed Dokken for ungodly sums of money, and he'd released a Metallica box set, and all three of them tanked. So they were looking to get him fired, so he couldn't fight the battle for this record. And they didn't even give him an option to change the title and the cover. They just said, you're out of here, kid. So Zenlove took the money and ran, or walked away with his head slung low. He disappeared for several years, and then he returned in 1997 under his new name, MF Doom. How many of you knew that? Yes, he returned in 1997 as MF Doom, and because of his success, they were able to release this properly in the year 2000. And unfortunately, MF Doom died on October 31st, 2020. His cause of death was unknown, or it was not released, and he was 49 years old at the time. So how many of you knew that KMD was the birth of MF Doom? I did, but I'm cool like that. Any whoozles, let me know in the comments. We'll see you next time. Thanks.